Hold on, let me just make sure. All right. My name is Idika Imeri. I solve life issues. So if you have issues in your life that um, you need someone that can listen to you intimately, that's me. I feel good about myself. I look good. I feel good. I think good, and I'm pretty damn good. And so when you begin to contact me, that's what's gonna happen to you. Now, um, we've been doing some broadcasts about um, sacred meditation. It's part of our sacred meditation channels. When we say meditation, we don't want you to start feeling something unnecessarily religious. God is not religion. It's religion that is trying to make something out of God. Or make God out of something. Well, so I have some of my partners who are on the phone line with me, and we've been looking at the Book of Champions. That's what I call sacred scriptures. We've been looking at Genesis chapter 1. Let's look at somewhere in that verse number 1. So, welcome to our sacred meditation channel. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Is for a lot of civilized people. Civilization simply means city dwellers, not rural dwellers. I mean, nowadays it doesn't conjure any of that anymore. It means those who are aware and practically developing in diverse ways. So we are looking at why you see the nature, characteristics, and concepts of God has become so theorized, so sometimes manipulated to the extreme depth of becoming something that divides people. God is not a human formulated thing. God also is not a concept. He's a person, he's a being. Don't ask me how God managed to become God. But one thing that I can tell you about the God of the kind of Christianity that I practiced, what I can tell you about him is he is he is the kind of God that I admire, and I am willing to, without anyone manipulating my will and experiences and cultures, I am willing not to play on submitting, but on being involved with. I don't use those hierarchical and archaic words of submit and this and that. I use the word involved with. Um, that means a lot for me, which means my involvement with him is not just something that is inherent or traditionally passed to me, which they all play a part, but something that I am, but a person that has visited me and has willingly given me opportunity to be human, because there is no human, there is no angelic or other created forces or appearances that manifested of their own selves. None. So somebody telling you that they have the ultimate experience or experiences of who God is, where he lives, how he does his job, is total fallacy, nonsensical, and sometimes arrogancy. That's when I begin to see the God becoming a concept instead of becoming a being that favors us, that is for us. In this broadcast, I want to focus on a part of who he is that is very generous. Because let me share this. Unless you see God Almighty from his almightiness into someone that you can befriend, someone that you can go and stay with, even though he is an invisible being. But then when you begin to go to him, it ceases to be a telephone conversation, and that is where the majesty of his appearances begin to come. And that's how some people throughout the ages, they have been able to be welcomed into the other side of life while they are still here. Is because they were willing to not make God a knowledge, but as part of their very existence, their life. Not a rudimentary and regimentary mentality syndrome. Not something that is forced on human, but a life that is willing to be cultured, to be attended to be awakened to. Now he says, God created. I became awakened to the reality and facts that one of the reasons, among many other gamuts of reasons, why God is there for his creatures, because we are, is, you see, in the book of Champions, Jesus, while he was on earth as human, spoke to us as, I am the light of the world. There is no existence that receives understanding, the faculty of intelligence, empirical, cognitive, rationalistic, name it anyhow you want to, or even logistic. There is nowhere where um, um, the blossoming and shining of life comes without the permission of the one we call the mediator, who is actually, in fact, let me, when I will start talking about Jesus in our broadcast, in our channel that we call Christ the King channel, you will be able to see that the real owner of the human race is Jesus, the member of the Trinity. He's actually the maker and the owner of the human race. In the beginning, God created. This is not an assumption or a fallacy subject to be verified. Although the more you move with God as an ordinary relationship, not necessarily to get something, but to build a life together. Because you see, worship of God or devotion to God or whatever you are doing with the Holy Trinity must ultimately lead to building a life together. If you are not willing to build a life together with Him, the principles that is derived from building such a life will collapse upon its own head, because all the forces of creativity in you will not be completely fully awakened in your lifetime. I like that. Mine. I feel good. Whoa. I feel so good about this sentence. Where did that come from? Mine. So it means that we are allowed into, we are sent as created forces and beings into the planets in order to manifest the deposits of the goods in us. And that without the development, I didn't use the word attachment, because that looks too dry for me. Without the development, the building, the word is building of that quality life with the Trinity. See, it's not necessarily worship. It's not necessarily prayer. It is what you are willing to do to advance your own life without hurting other people's feelings, without destroying other people's property and their own, and giving other people space to be themselves, and finding ways to tap into each other's resources in order to build each other. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily that you are trying to do something for God, which is part of it, but it's about opportunity to do something for yourself. Because what makes Him happy, what makes the Trinity, the divinity happy, is when finally they see you attain to the structure of happiness, because they create with the best sides of us. That's why people who are critical, judgmental, hard to please, sad spirit, sad, negative mindset people are opportunities. They have already fine-tuned themselves to be used by humans and by forces outside our planets to injure other human beings. You see, like sadness, grief, negative, judgmental lifestyles, hard to please lifestyles, grieving, unhappiness of all sorts, manipulative, using and abusing people. These are all what we call the negative forces that invites other negative forces. Let's go. Permit me to say this. Among other reasons why the divinity, God himself here, is in the center of activities of the planets, or of the planetary system, or let's hit it home, of our earth, and of his own kingdom, his own planet where he also lives, is this: God exists for me as a person, not for them. God exists for us and not just for me. And he's being there not as a statue to be kissed, or not just as a God to be worshipped only, but as a personality, a being, is so powerful. That's the only word I can use. So powerful that this is someone you can come to. That's the best way I can put it. This is someone you can come to be with, to talk to reason with, to tell him why you did this, why you want this, including why you need him. But there is also a side of him that is connected with these two words: God created. Since reason should tell us that since he is the owner of all lives, that's what it is. And that the power, the energy forces, which I even mean physical energy of a human being, the energy to remain healthy and youthful, the power to advance without breaking down. These two words, God created, introduces something. Very strong interplay of words. It is this. I go to him to get power to create. He exists for me so that I go to him in order to be equipped with, or in order to be released into the higher reasons for my existence. This is powerful stuff. I go to him to be released, because why I'm saying this is this. You can have all the technical professional experiences and training, but that might still hide what is in you that contains your cash, your checks, your debit card. I didn't say credit card here. Your houses, every luxury you need, your businesses, your investments might still be dormant in you. The best thing in you might still be dormant in you. I'm serious. And you may not know it. That's why it is necessary that from year to year you have some time that you spend and said, have I attained to all that I should attend to? Am I all that I should be? Because at the age of 80, I think so, Moses was told to go into his real career from being a shepherd. Aaron too was released to do his real career, which was working for his brother Moses in his professional capacity. Abraham, at the age of 75, was summoned into his professional life as the beginner of a nation of Israel. I want you to be aware of this. And sometimes he will permit, I use the word permit, problems to escalate for us to now go and ask him that question, because he doesn't want to lose any of his investments. So let me introduce one word here. God created. You were created for investment. You are God's investment. That's why you must be an investor. Because you carries in you his investments, his resources, inherent and acquired. And those things need to be invested somewhere for you to reap something. You reap first. And in you reaping and harvesting, he is reaping and harvesting. You will collapse and break down on earth. You won't last very long. And even if you live very long, how will your legacy be protected? How will your businesses you've established, are they going to last long? Will your name remain on earth for all time? Those are the questions. For you to be relevant, authentic, for you to last forever, like diamonds are, so they said. Like the angels of life are, so it is. For you to last forever. He become the source for the release of the things you need for your assignment. So when I say God exists for me, which you should say, God exists for me, it's no longer their God, but my God. And you should not go about looking for God, because God has already done enough looking for you. Please write that down. It's a powerful key. Don't go about looking for God, because God has already done enough going about looking for you. So it's pure foolishness for you to go about looking for preaching, looking for religion, looking for a church to attend, looking for this. It's pure foolishness trying to do that, because God has done enough trying to look for you all this time. And out of his being, out of his womb, I use the word womb, out of God's womb, out of his mind, out of his being, he found you there, and he released you out here. So that's where you go for repair. That's where you go to be reworked, renewed. So God exists for me, for my renewal, for my constant nourishment, for my physical ability. You know what I'm saying? Go and read the book of Champion and see how the Spirit of God will come upon Samson, the Spirit of God will come upon David, and all these people. And people don't really know what that means. Don't run alone anymore. It's absolute foolishness to run alone. Please don't worry about sometimes my words are coming slow. It's because of the intensity of the influence of what I'm doing right now. Don't say to yourself that this is all it is for me. This is not all it is. Don't allow the crowd to tell you that you are now old and that there is nothing else for you except to look after your grandkids, get married, do this. There is more for you. You've not yet arrived at the peak of your history. Your history is yet to be written. Please write it down. You've not yet arrived at the peak of your history. Your history is yet to be written. There are people who, because of the circumstances of birth and life, they arrive quicker. Some of us, we are late bloomers. We come slowly. And sometimes we live longer. So God is where you go to receive the discharges of the different resources that are beyond the earth for you to be able to carry out your earthly, ordinary life. Well, you can do that without him, but I doubt whether everything will turn out right. Because I've seen people who want to do it without him and they take their own lives. Because you see, with divinity comes a secrecy that will protect you, and also agents that will protect you. And also, there is something that he will put inside you that will keep you from helplessness and hopelessness, that will make you keep going on when you will have said to yourself, I'll let it all die, I'll let it all go. So I want you to carry out this spiritual exercise. Don't let your what you are building with God die. Don't let it die. Because if you let it die, you begin to die. Please write that as a powerful key. Do not let what you are building with God die, because if you let it die, you will begin to die. And there are specific and special people that you were meant to bless. What I mean to bless, I'm not talking about giving things, to be useful for. So know that it's not for everybody. You are a limited edition. Please know that. You are a limited edition. You are hard to find. That's why he sent you here. Next thing that is connected with that word God created is the word power. He wants to endow you with power, both power in the mind, physical, and in your spirit as a spirit being. Many of us have tired spirit, tired mind, tired body. He exists to fill you back. There is joy. And then there are so many things involved in this. But I want you to be aware that because you are a limited edition, you are just one. People cannot buy you. They can't purchase you. Know that. Just know this for a fact. You cannot be bought. You can't be purchased. That's how he made you. That's why you should start asking him to bring you to the kind of paycheck that we call favor. Because that one, because you need that kind of salary or paycheck, because what you carry cannot be bought with money. Please write that down. What I carry cannot be bought with money. Write that down. That's a powerful key. What I carry cannot be bought with money. So that is, these are some of the, these are the things that are coming out of these two words. God created. And you are here to continue the process of creating. I'm not just talking about you making babies. I'm talking about brand names and companies, new advancement in science and technology, culture, society. See, different things are involved here. Don't limit it to just one little area. See, I am Idika Imeri. I look good. I feel good. I think good. And I'm pretty damn good. And my job is to solve human problems. You can give me a call at 316-665-4400 or text WhatsApp me uh, at 316-512-6944. You can write to me at P O Box 2491, Wichita, Kansas 67201 USA. You can email me also. Go to idikaimeri.org and check me out. And you will know I'm a very nice man. And when you start hanging around me, you will start feeling good about yourself, looking good, thinking good, and you will also become pretty damn good. Okay? That's what life is about. Now, let me throw in one more thing there about God created. And we will return back to that. But I want to give you that as a food for thought so that you can look forward to this. Make sure that you enter this so that I can remember it, you and Mary, to go from here. Created for what? Enjoyment. Because ask me, what is God doing in heaven? What is God doing in his own planet where he resides? Because even though God sees everywhere, can be everywhere, he can be everywhere, but he lives somewhere. Please write that down. God can be everywhere, see everywhere, do anything everywhere, but he lives somewhere. He has a home. He has a city. He has a planet. He has a country. And what is he doing there? Oh, people are just coming to bow down and worship him. You serious? That's all they are doing? Well, I'll tell you more. So that you understand the kind of God that you're worshiping, what he's doing there. If you do not understand what enjoyment is, that's why you need to follow me. I'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye.